From a YouTuber who immerses himself in a bath of hot sauce to another who dares a chemical experiment with baking soda and 10,000 liters of soda, here are 9 unusual experiments conducted by these YouTubers who went too far. Let's start. This YouTuber, known as Neological, is, as her pseudonym says, a manicure specialist. A few years ago, this young woman wanted to respond to a request from her followers by taking on a challenge that was unusual, to say the least. Apply more than 100 layers of nail polish. Only that? The YouTuber did not hesitate a second and took out all her nail polishes, 116 in total, that she began to apply one after another on the nails of her right hand. Result? Neological managed to take up the challenge that her followers had given her. Yes, but it required a lot of time and patience because this work was not easy. In addition, it was necessary to wait for each layer of varnish to dry before moving on to the next. Phew! We can imagine how bored this poor YouTuber must have been, not to mention the result she got on her nails. With more than 100 layers of polish, we have an idea of how these nails look like. But still, Neological certainly felt a lot of joy in pleasing her followers. Come on, it's not every day that we take up such a challenge. And precisely thanks to this challenge almost impossible to meet, this YouTuber has well talked about her, and she must be proud of it even today. Kandar is a YouTuber of British origin who is known for his crazy challenges that he has fun doing in front of his subscribers to impress them. But a few years ago, this young man decided to launch a challenge that had nothing in common with his previous ones. Well, after the chocolate bath and the cookie bath, Kandar decided to immerse himself completely in a bath of hot sauce. No, this is not a joke. The YouTuber stripped off his clothes, then got into a bathtub that had been filled with 1,250 bottles of hot sauce. And that was it. Our friend was finally going to be happy to have another crazy challenge. Not for long though, as the hot peppers soon took its toll by penetrating his body through his ears, nose, and mouth, burning him to the point that he very quickly emerged from his sauce bath screaming in pain. Look. To calm the unpleasant sensation, this YouTuber immediately went to the shower where he cooled off well, with fresh drinking water of course. Kandar was called crazy after conducting this intense experience, but at least we are pretty sure that he will not dare to venture into such challenges again. Whistling Diesel is a YouTuber whose videos may seem a bit strange. Indeed, this young man likes to test the resistance of objects considered unbreakable by doing everything to break them. But in one of his videos, this YouTuber went too far by wanting to test the resistance of a brand of pickup truck well known as being indestructible. To carry out this experiment, the young man did not hesitate to tow nearly 14 tons with his pickup, after having already driven it at high speed on all kinds of terrain. Of course, this young man did manage to hook all that cargo to the pickup. However, he will have massacred his vehicle for nothing, because finally, this pickup was indeed robust and could still roll and tow all this huge load. Wow! That must have made him change his mind once and for all. One thing is for sure though, thanks to this video going viral, Whistling Diesel has earned a place among the most daring YouTubers. Hugo Lara Arias, a well-known Mexican YouTuber with thousands and thousands of subscribers, wanted one day to achieve more views. Except that the action through which he hoped to make the buzz was far from normal because this young man had to eat habanero peppers, one of the strongest peppers in the world. After a moment of hesitation, he decided to accept the challenge that these ladies had given him and ended up biting into the peppers. Challenge taken up for Hugo. But he was far from suspecting that the consequences would be much more pungent than he thought. Well, look at him to understand. This YouTuber ended up in the hospital. Yes, he had gone too far, but all's well that ends well because according to the sister of the young man, he was much better after being taken care of. Hugo had a very bad experience that he will certainly never forget for the rest of his life. But at least he learned a good lesson, not to be willing to do anything to get more views. 8Booth is an American YouTuber known for his stunts and dizzying jumps that give goosebumps to all those who follow him on his channel or on his Instagram account. Indeed, this young man loves to do somersaults, whether from a balcony, a roof, etc. But this time, this intrepid young man went a little too far by daring to jump from the cliff El Morro in California. A cliff that rises to about 20 meters high and at the foot of which are several rocks. Nothing scary for our daredevil friend. Indeed, this last one, equipped with his camera, begins first to run and hop and launches himself into the void. But he will quickly regret it by realizing that his fall will finish on the rocks. It's hard to imagine, but fortunately, the young man manages to change his trajectory at the last second and finishes his race in the water. Phew, more fear than harm. This accident could have been fatal for 8Booth, but luckily, he escaped with only a few scratches. Not only that, but 8booth was proud of himself after this fall, and he didn't hesitate to publish his video, which was widely viewed on the net. You think that stopped him? Well, no. This experience that almost cost him his life only motivated him to do more somersaults. TechRax is an American YouTuber who has over 7 million subscribers, and like all YouTubers, always wants to inflate that number by posting videos that attract the most views. But a few years ago, this YouTuber had an unusual and original idea: swimming in a pool filled with Coke and Mentos candies. No need to remind you that the mixture of these two components gives a spectacular result because almost everyone knows this reaction. But for TechRax, it was a challenge. He filled a pool with 5,678 liters of soda and poured in 90 kilograms of ice and a bucket of Mentos candy. To top it off, he also used a drone and had his friend dive into the pool. And that was it. The trick was done, and the YouTuber managed to get no less than 22 million views for his video that quickly became a buzz. However, in return, this experience was quite expensive for him with everything he had to buy. But when you're a YouTuber like TechRax, you don't count, and he probably didn't regret his futile expense that made him even more famous on the web. Yes, he can be proud of it today. Maxim Monikov, better known under the pseudonym of Mammix, is a popular YouTuber in Russia. Some time ago, he is familiar with the reaction produced by the Coca-Cola Mentos mixture and wanted to reproduce this experiment, but on a large scale. Well, in this case, he preferred to use a very large quantity of baking soda, liters and liters of vinegar, and 10,000 liters of Coca-Cola. Yes, 10,000 liters of Coca-Cola. To do this, Mammix and his team bought everything they needed and got their hands on an old tank that they reworked and welded together so they could use it for their experiment. On the day, the young man and his team went to a deserted field where they placed the tank and filled it with 10,000 liters of Coca-Cola and vinegar. Then they added a large amount of baking soda, all the while filming every step of the experiment. And the result? Here it is. This Russian YouTuber succeeded in this unprecedented chemical experiment. Look again at this geyser that gushes out of the tank. Isn't it spectacular? Well, Mammix and his team were obviously not safe from the drops of Coke that sprayed on them. And then it cost a small fortune to the Russian YouTuber, who claims to have paid 700,000 rubles, or about 8,500 euros, to conduct this unusual and daring experiment. But whatever the cost of this experience, Maxim Monikov will never regret having put his hand in his pocket because his video must have earned him much more. In fact, the video has been viewed no less than 6 million times in a short period of time, which has made this Russian YouTuber even more popular. Tyler Oliveira is a YouTuber who can boast having a large number of followers. In 2020, this young man wanted to try a more or less crazy experiment: to make the water in a swimming pool absorb with paper towels. Can a million paper towels absorb a pool? Was the translated title of his video. In it, the young man and his friend can be seen throwing entire rolls of paper towels into the water. The YouTuber had fun for a while. However, it must have bored him soon because he stopped throwing the paper towels into the pool, believing that it takes many more paper towels to absorb all the water in the pool. Moreover, his followers were quick to react. Unsurprisingly, Tyler Oliveira received a lot of criticism for daring to waste so much paper for an experiment that was anything but interesting. Obviously, the young man did not fail to respond to these criticisms, saying to his followers that they were perhaps right to react in this way, but while defending himself in his way. Because of this video, this young YouTuber did not make a good impression, and he may continue to be criticized for a long time. And we end with this experiment that was conducted by another YouTuber no less daring than the previous ones. This last one, who had got his hands on a toad, decided to roast it. He could have done it in a barbecue, but this person chose to grill it with molten metal. To do this, the YouTuber brought copper bars that he placed in a container before melting them at a very high temperature and then pouring them onto a kind of mold. With his so-called baking tray ready, he then brought back the toad, already dead, thankfully, and grilled it on the molten copper on both sides until it was cooked. And that's it. This YouTuber managed to prove that it was possible to roast the toad in this way, because in the end, the animal's flesh was well cooked. On the other hand, he had to run a huge risk because this experiment is actually very dangerous to perform given the high temperature and the risk of burning. But thanks to the precautions he took, this did not happen, fortunately. We don't really know what those who watch this video think, but in any case, we can say that this YouTuber ended up making the buzz. These were 9 unusual and daring experiments that were conducted by daring YouTubers. Which of these experiments surprised, fascinated, or rather annoyed you the most? Leave us your answers in the comments. And as always, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video. Did you like this video? Then don't forget to put a like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell to receive all the notifications and not miss anything of our next publications.